Welcome back to another episode of Uncut and Uncensored. And today
We're here.
we have my husband.
Ah! Tronco, no, honey. I cannot start this podcast like this, honey.
And
Stop.
today is why we're going to discuss why you should always marry your best friend.
She just literally picked one of my small little things in my bag. Pimples.
I love doing that.
Oh my god. Oh, that was so painful, honey. No, I'm gonna suffer the whole time now.
So dramatico. So dramatico. What stuck to your thing?
Pero para hombre tronco, no, honey. I'm done with
So
that.
we went out last night with my cousin, his wife, and some really other old friends of ours that I've known a very, very long time, who knew me in my previous marriage. And it was so nice, I have to say, because my cousin is Ben Caring and Elle Caring, and actually they're moving to Miami. And they have like lots of amazing private members clubs around London, like Annabelle's and all these amazing places. Anyway, so we went out last night. We had such a lovely time and we laughed and laughed and laughed. And the one thing that they all said is, you know, even though, of course, they love my ex-husband, they were like, the difference and how much we laugh and how much they love hanging out with us just because... Guys, it's not, you know what, is the older we get, the better it gets, right? They're just moving to Miami. So last night we were laughing and their house is on the water and it's beautiful. And I have a beautiful house in Dubai and we're building in Bali. And we just looked at each other, the four of us, and went, well, now we've got a house in Bali. We've got a house in Dubai. And now we've got a fabulous one in the water of Miami. And they were texting me this morning going, you have a room. And I'm like, we have a room. And like, that is like, when you're married and you have friends like that, like where we're all just like, you're going, I'll buy that one, you buy that one, you have life fucking sorted.
Literally.
Right? Literally.
I think so. When you find that true connection, you know, like more than just a partnership, like a friendship. And I think from there you can build anything you want.
Really, like Sergio and I talk about it all the time. Like, you know, some of you are always, and actually it's interesting, I did this thing, or Sergio put this TikTok up the other day about saying how young I looked. And there was 6,000 people that liked to point out in the worst way how old I looked instead.
I'm like, how people can have this anger inside them to comment such a horrible things.
It doesn't matter because actually the more they comment, the more famous we get, and go for it. I couldn't give a shit. I don't think I look 25. I'm not trying to look 25, never have. My husband doesn't want me to look 25. He actually likes me to look older. So
Actually, you look amazing, I have to say.
thank you, darling. But my point is that, you know, we were talking about it last night, and there is nothing that you guys can say that will pull us apart for this kind of stuff, because that's not why we're together.
Literally nothing. I think when the foundation is so strong and you build something, you know, like completely unique under what's on the public eye, nobody can destroy it.
We're not looking for the quick fix of a pretty body and, you know, like a G-string. It's not what drives us. Sergio and I, thrive on the hustle, our work, building things, making the people around us happy, traveling, our kids, like the lifestyle that we have. In fact, I think our entire life is based on the lifestyle. And I don't mean superficial shit. I mean like being able to, you know, visit our friends, build things, involve our families.
Everything together, kind of. Actually, I was talking this morning with Lulu, I have the meeting with, you know, and we were discussing like how amazing manifestation and visualization is, because, you know, like things happen and you just have actually just to put the energy into something. And I think that's what happened with Carla and me. We have such a strong connection and such a good energy that just things flows to us.
And I've always said you shouldn't have to push, you shouldn't have to fight. If it's that hard, it wasn't meant for you. And, you know, the more, like, I actually just got a letter actually from my facialist today. She came over. I haven't seen her in probably 4 years, I presume, because I haven't really been back. And she just wrote to me saying, thank you so much for all you've ever done for me over the last 10 years. And, you know, I just wrote back saying, thank you for even recognizing it, because so many people don't. And, you know,
I said something actually yesterday about that. I went to the church to put some candles and I said, gratitude is something extremely powerful, and people don't realize that. And no matter where you are in life, there
Should
is
always be.
always a reason to be grateful for.
And a
And
reason,
you have to
somebody that
always
helped you get
remember.
there.
Exactly. Always remember that.
I was talking about a few of the people in my court case last night, that helped me. And, they were saying how amazing my friends, and it can be small things. I'm not talking about people bailing you out or people just remembering who was there when you needed them.
100%.
And, the thing about me and Sergio is, and that's what I always said, by the way, in relationships and when I was getting divorced, people are like, oh, who was unfaithful, between me and my ex-husband? And I'm like, well, I don't know, because I never asked, because that wasn't why we broke up. People pin so much of a relationship on sex, which it is obviously a huge part of a relationship, don't get me wrong, and that's what bonds you and absolutely connects you as people, but there is so much more than sex.
100%.
It's part of it, and we absolutely say all the time that we have better sex today.
Oh my God, let me tell you. Last night I was sleeping. I think it was 3 a.m. Caroline
Sergio.
literally jumped out of nothing. I don't even know how. And we had the most amazing night in the planet. And I think that's something extremely special. That the wife just wakes up in the middle of the night and she just, has the desire for you. And it's amazing, actually,
Testosterone pellets.
Oh my God, that's it?
I don't know. But it certainly helps. But my point is, I think that, obviously women use, and I've seen it a lot, women use their sexual prowess to get men, right? And you see overtly sexual women whose whole being is
Attraction
about,
there,
about like their boobs.
Feeling sexy, all that,
And they move in a different way. They're kind of feline. And I always used to look at myself going, well, I'm never getting a man then, am I? Because, I walk like a duck. I'm certainly not, he looks like that and I'm in a sweater and jeans. And that's just how I am, right? I mean, I don't wear like that sexy underwear all the time.
Actually, why are you as you are in a winter cabin and I'm literally with no shirt?
I don't really know, but
don't
I'm
understand.
cold and,
Okay.
you're going out to dinner. We're going out to dinner. Anyway, I thought the ladies would like this.
Perfect. I like it for the ladies.
But my point is, you don't need to be that woman, right? If a relationship gets, we are how many years in? Six
and a half, something. Yeah, 6
years, 6 and a bit years in. We are getting more and more
sexual and better together
and more connected.
And I think
than ever.
Actually, obviously, the attraction and the physical temptation was there, the desire for each other in the beginning. But I think, because we went into a deeper feeling than that, then when we got a deeper feeling, the other outside, emotional, connection combined with the sexual connection. And I think that's why there's just so much, just energy coming and flowing through us.
We can touch hands and it's like through our bodies.
It's crazy.
And that's what people don't understand, I think. So, yes, you can all say that the age and look, granted, the age will catch up with me. I'm not trying to look young.
How is
Obviously.
that gonna catch up, honey? I mean, I was 24 when I met you, and you were 43. If you didn't catch up at that time, I was literally looking like a baby. Now I think we're getting closer on age in a way because, I'm aging and you are literally going down. So I don't understand how.
Okay, but the great thing is we're best friends, and what we're building, we're so proud of. And now that our families are involved, we've got an amazing team of people helping us now. We've just had a call now with another team of people in America that are going to help us with another
It's
part
so
of our
exciting,
business.
to be honest.
We get so excited that there is just, it's beyond the physical. It's beyond the, there isn't a girl in a thong that could distract him from what he's building right now.
And I think it's just about the journey. We are loving the process of building this incredible empire together. And that's what it's all about.
And I'm not trying to shove it in your faces and go, we're amazing, because obviously we argue and obviously shit goes down. But what I'm trying to say is that I think we focus way too much on the physical, as in how we look, how all of these things, and trying to be perfect, instead of realizing that if you build a team and a partnership with someone like we are, that it gets more and more strong. And I think I see that very much in Ben and Elle.
100%.
And they, they have like,
It's about the journey together. It's about building something
Yeah.
that you can really enjoy together. I would, for example, now if you tell me, look, I give you 5 hotels and you are alone, I will never take it. I'd rather have 0 hotels and build one and enjoy the journey with someone. And I think, you only live once. You want someone that is your best friend to join this beautiful thing called life. And that's what it's all about.
and we always say, it's the journey, not the destination. It's the journey, not the destination. It's the journey, not the destination.
People
And whoever-
forget,
Share this with anyone that you think needs to hear this, by the way, ladies, because I think we have forgotten this. Like, if you are passionate about something, you can't possibly understand
100%.
how much fun this can be.
It's amazing, honestly. Like, my truly real passion is content creation, digital marketing, and somehow, I'm extremely blessed just to be able to do it for a living now, mixed with other stuff. And if you really feel passionate about something and truly, put time and effort into something, things will work out their way to make it work for you.
If we were told that this was it, we've reached our destination now, I think we'd be absolutely lost. Like, we have so many plans, and there's so many plans. And I think that the powerful thing, and that's the message of what the retreats kind of gave us as well, is because so many powerful women came, and I actually thought that they would be a bit, not have so much of their shit together, put it that way. I thought they would be asking for a lot more help than
A
they
bit more
were.
lost in life, let's
Yes.
say.
But what I realized was they had their shit together, but they didn't know now what their purpose was.
Or like the next step.
For them was. And that was fascinating to me, because what I understood is, having been through so many different things, and I think that, even if you're more successful than me, because of my journey that you've all seen over the years, I think so many of you are fascinated by how I hold it all together.
It's very interesting. I think even just talking to someone who has a life experience on a different way than yours and works in a different industry, just listening to that person, it can open you different ways for you to go to the next level in your business. And I think that's what these retreats are doing for a lot of people that are coming. They're just, helping women to grow in many different ways that they were never expecting it.
And, I think that all of you women out there need to understand to find a true partnership in this world. And I wish you a true partnership, right? Not one where you are in competition together, not one where you are, thinking, and this is a big one for women, thinking that he'll change, thinking that he'll be different, thinking that he will be better. If you go into it, right, which is, I actually gave myself panic attacks about Sergio being 24 years old.
I remember.
And he hadn't obviously got a lot of money left after being sued. He had moved across the world. He didn't have any friends, and he didn't really have any direction at that point. He didn't know what he wanted to be at all. So
I had a lot of life experience.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what direction I wanted to take.
Nope.
And actually, Caroline took a big leap of faith, taking me, let's say, under the arm and, putting that confidence on me. And I think if I can give you any advice.
Well, I mean, and you, I think it was both.
It was both together, but
I
I think you never listen to your checks that a husband should be or a partner should have.
Yes. Get
And
rid of the list.
I never listened to the list. And I think because we did that, we got to where we are today.
I think God rewarded us
Exactly.
for it, because we never, ever, even when people were going, well, what are you going to do with him? He's a boy. You're going to have to look after him. It's another mouth to feed in your house. I always maintained that he would never be that, because as again, I've said many, many times about how driven you were. I don't need to go over it. But, when somebody puts their faith in a person and another person and drives them, that person will always be, a rock for you. That person will always come up and meet you. That's the point. When you push someone down and tell them that they're not right for you, which a lot of women do, go, well, your job isn't good enough. You don't you're not contributing enough. Because even when, say, he couldn't contribute what I needed at the time, or not needed, but, what I would have needed from a partner, I never made him feel shit about that. I would ask, what can you contribute at this time?
Oh, so true.
And he would give me what he had rather than me making him feel like it wasn't enough. They're the same thing in a way, right? You're still asking for it, but you're taking what he had and still making him feel like it's okay, this is fine, I can make it work.
I think
Then-
a lot of people, they don't make it because of the pressure they have
Yes.
with each other. Like younger men, they have so much pressure to step up their game to, you know, be able to provide to the older person that is just very
But then
complicated.
you wanted to do it. And then, you know, because I didn't ask for it like that, it was his mission to do it. You know, I didn't need to ask every month going, can I have this money? He would automatically be like, this is what I have. Right. And, you know, that's
Because
the
I
point.
knew the purpose, you know, was so much bigger than that. I knew it was about, you know, just building something together and, you know, just creating a life journey experience together. I never care about money. I never care about, the, you know, any of the things that are materialistic stuff. I just care about, you know,
It's like that girl we met in Australia.
What
I'm
we do.
watching her do the same.
Yeah.
The same. She's just done another girl I met. She came to one of my things and she was in exactly the same position. And she's like, you've given me the confidence to fall in love with the man I've fallen in love with. I am more successful than he is. And, you know, I don't think the age gap was as big, but, you know, she was definitely more successful. And now
it's
I'm-
beautiful to see, actually.
oh my
yeah?
God, I'm watching the difference on
It's
her
amazing.
Instagram, and he is doing all the back end of her work. He is helping her, and it sounds ridiculous, but even just traveling to the shows, carrying the bags, like
Yes.
helping her unpack and put the trade show up, and all of these things. Now, other women undervalue this shit. Like, it is a huge thing. Like, just because I'm front and forward or somebody is, you know, making the wheels behind me work, it is massive so that I can get there and sit down and be rested and feel and be me. And he's lugging behind her with all the suitcases and the bags and putting it up and putting the sign with her name up. Don't underestimate what that is.
And I feel like slowly men, you know, are turning into that figure a lot.
Yeah.
You know, younger men are, you know, realizing like
The value in powerful women as well.
exactly like how
And
you
we
can
don't
really
need
support.
more money than we have, right? I don't need another Chanel handbag. We're not, you know, so for me, if I'm supported and I'm loved and I come home to a man who values everything I do, or a man that wants to better me and make me feel cherished, that is fucking priceless.
It's actually very interesting because my whole life I always wanted more watches and more things and stuff. And now that I kind of got there, I don't need another watch. And I even if I have the cash available, I will just not buy it. I don't know why, because I think I'm very content with myself and with who I am and with who I am with Caroline, that the materialistic stuff, it doesn't matter anymore. It matters about where we go from here.
Which
And
is
it's
like we want to
interesting-
buy barley. We want to
There's so many things I want to do, but like it's just so interesting to see that only at 30 years old, you know? Like even, for example,
It's true.
you
All
know,
he wanted was another watch, or all he wanted is a fucking Ferrari. And I'm like, oh my God. And I hate all those because they're so, I mean, it probably hasn't given up the Ferrari. probably
Ferrari
hasn't.
still can, but you know, I don't need it now, and I understood that it will come, you know, when the passive income come and stuff, and I just want to throw the money into that. But you know, it's interesting because you, as a younger man, you always want to just kind of like show off in a way. You just want to look good, you know, all this watch, look, I made it, this, and now I got to the point in life that I actually don't care. Like I'm wearing Zara pants and you know, no t-shirt, as you can see, but
No, you've got Dior shoes on, darling.
I mean that's true.
You're
But you
covered
know.
in jewelry.
Okay.
Anyway, but you know, he is bling. But you know, at the same time, he is way more comfortable, way more grown up. He's all about, you know, if I want an expensive bag, he gives it to me, and we really like. On birthdays and anniversaries, we love to spoil each other. And other than that, we really don't really give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's wonderful. We have a beautiful home with a beautiful, you know, everything, the warmth in it. Actually, when we travel, and it's amazing, we go into other people's homes and we feel the energy. And, you know, my two friends who sing for Kygo were coming to perform in the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai, and they came to stay with us. And they said they did not leave our house once, not once, because the energy was so good.
Honestly,
And
like every time we travel as well, like we just feel the energy everywhere, you know. And these
Yeah.
people that our friends, they came to the house and they were like, "Oh my god,
They didn't want to leave it. They said the dogs were
So
happy, the
good.
staff were happy. They said they hadn't slept like that because they're on tour for ages. And, you know, it was so nice to hear because, you know, we feel it and I feel it, and and I feel like we've created this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bubble. And I would like to say to people that, you know, we are not unique. You know, a lot of people look up to us like we're this unicorn couple.
Look, the bubble, I can say the bubble is there, is available to people. You just need to allow yourself to be able to access it. You know, like I think a lot of people have so much like trap, you know, and so many things into themselves that they don't allow themselves to grow and to let that energy come, you know, and you know, it's just out there. It's available for you, and I feel super lucky to have it with
I've
Caroline.
done all those things. You know, I've had like this constant hamster wheel that you're always trying to pay for shit. And, you know, I am always trying to pay for shit because obviously we've got all these apartments now. So we have, I don't know, 7 mortgages every month.
There's so many
You know,
things.
we're juggling everything. Like the ball's always up in the air. And I never want to lose that either, by the way. But, you know, I feel so worthwhile because we have so many staff working for us and we have so many apartments and all these things coming to us that I'm so proud of ourselves because in a very small
Little.
period of time, we've achieved this, which is why I want to say that, you know, it's not unachievable for anyone. It really isn't. Once you sit down and focus your mind on what it is you want,
Literally.
you can obtain it very fast, simply, and easily.
And as soon as you get the right thing, the rest of the things will fly to you and it will come to you.
And so many times the answer's really, truly right under our nose. We're just scared to take the first step. And I've been doing these coaching calls with women, and it's really funny because, you know, a lot of them come from marriages, right? And a lot of people have been married 15, 20 years and they don't know how to handle their money. Maybe they get a small amount as a settlement. And they want to leave it in the bank. They want to just park it there because seeing those figures there makes them feel confident. And that would have been the old me too. Like, I've got that. Anything goes wrong, it's there for me. But what I've understood is that is the biggest bloody mistake that you can have, is to just park it and forget about it as a woman. You need to make that money work for you every fucking day. And that money should be producing more money for you. And I have been teaching the women around me how to do it. And I'm amazed by how many women I've been teaching lately, not really knowing that I knew all these things.
It's actually amazing. I think when you unlock your full potential, things really start flying to you. And you probably knew all this, you've been doing your whole life, but you didn't really know you were doing it. And I think now that you see actually the practice, practical examples that you're actually doing it, it's very easy for you and it's super rewarding that you can, teach this to people.
And I think, having run big businesses, and at least I know what I don't want anymore, right? I do know I don't want a massive payroll. And when you have over 70 employees, you have a massive payroll.
And actually, that's something that Caroline and me, we share a lot. Like, we know extremely well what we don't want in life.
And we know what we do. So
it doesn't matter what it is in your case, just predefine those things and stick to it.
And I think what we've been really good at now is, because we know exactly what we won't do, is finding the right partners who are prepared to work with us, for us, provide us the services that we need. And we have, you take a smaller part of a much bigger pie, and because we're doing that, we have a lifestyle.
100%.
We
That's
are
the
not
key.
Slaves to anyone.
And I would never want to do that, to be honest. Caroline and me, we talk about it many times. We don't want to build something that
we are
a slave and relies on us 100%, because you will never be able to have your lifestyle. At the end of the day, look, you live once. You just want to try to figure out how to make the most amount of money in the least time possible with the most freedom possible. That's all.
can I tell you what we've got planned this year? I mean, what have we got planned this year, Sergio?
Oh my God, so many
Like
cool things.
we are going to south of France. We're going around the Amalfi Coast. We then go to. I'm going to pick up my kids.
We might go to maybe Turkey with the kids, then maybe Miami. Then we are going on a
Vegas.
super exciting trip before Vegas. We're going to see the gorillas
In Rwanda.
Which is like a bucket list experience.
Always wanted to do it. And let me
always.
I've just been in the countryside with my mother, who was like, I think the only places they went to were the south of France, Italy. They had these beautiful, huge houses. They had all the Porsches.
Ferraris.
They had
Your dad was
Ferraris.
a
My
big
dad
fan.
had the amazing, the furs. She looks like Dallas and Dynasty, but they never traveled. They never did any of this. And now it's too late.
Actually,
It's
she
really
was
too
she was
late.
saying that actually. She was like, "Oh, I wish I did like Peru, but it's just too late now because I cannot do it."
But I
and
mean,
we're
Peru
going
actually they could do.
They could do it
take
actually, yeah. But we're doing Rwanda, then we're going Madagascar for a week, then we're going to Nairobi to Giraffe Manor, which I'm very excited to. I need to close that one actually. Then Private Island.
Private island with
so
friends.
many things to be honest.
We have. Oh, and then we're going to Vietnam.
Yes.
I mean, that's this year.
But
We couldn't do that.
our goal is work so hard and figure out how to get that passive income that allows us
To continue our life like
continue
this.
our life, to have that freedom and that lifestyle to travel and see the world.
And let me tell you, we always say, because, again, I love my ex-husband. Don't get me wrong. We're really good friends. I do. He's the father of my children. And he's the best person that I could imagine to have done that with. But
And Carol, I also have to say, she's the first one who is always grateful for what happened in the past, because she became who she is because
of him
of
and
him
my kids.
and the kids and everything. So,
But
in a way, he built who she is today as well.
100%. But I could not do all of this traveling with him, nor would he want to do all of this traveling with me. And, just to put it into perspective.
That's why he was perfect for that time of the
Yes.
of your life, where I was not even born probably, and I was perfect for this time of my life, which I am already a bit a grown up, and I mean I don't have any responsibilities in a way that I have to work corporate, So
It's interesting looking back, because let me think about traveling with my ex-husband, and this is, and then again, nothing to do with him, because we could never have this relationship, and that is what's so.
What do you think is that?
Because we had kids. So when we traveled, we had very young children, because we could never have what you and I have, which is just like we just pick up and go, right? We had very young kids. When they're not your children, so you don't have the fights that we used to when you're young and you're traveling with 3 kids. Nannies had to come with us, bags. It's not fun. Nobody likes traveling with the Von Trapp family. You need a giant car. You need 3 rooms in a hotel.
I have to say, we went to Bali with literally 12 people. I had to organize everything, and I was in a way like the father of the family. I was organizing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A bus like this. I was like, oh my God, I want to kill myself.
Think about the way we do it.
That was crazy.
So poor, my ex-husband got that side of me,
which is
right?
crazy actually. It's very stressful.
Yeah. So by the time when you've done those kind of trips, you're kind of so over traveling, and then we both were building and hustling, and working to pay for all our children, that really, he was working in one country, I was going there. So there was no time for all these romantic, crazy adventure trips that you and I do.
Yeah.
We never had that.
I agree.
So, he would never have got that side of me, and I would never have got this side of him.
Well, also
Now,
I'm
if
Latino, which is different.
Well, no, I'm sure if he travels with his girlfriend now, he has a wonderful time. They probably have sex holidays and have a great, relaxed time.
I don't want
right?
to think about that, but yeah.
Well, for each other.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like we do. You're relaxed. They're happy. They probably have a nice time. Whereas we could never have that. Could never have the relationship that you and I have, because we were so tired and stressed.
No, I understand completely, honey. I completely understand, because I can imagine the pressure from the business, the kids, everything. It was just so much.
Carrying all that luggage.
Yeah.
Going on holiday with nannies was never fun, because they always ended up, that's just another human with you that mostly you don't really, they're not your friends. You don't really like them.
No, I have to
They've
say,
got big personalities.
I have to say, there's nothing better than the freedom of just going to a place and you have a hotel room book, and then you just literally don't have any responsibilities, that next day you can just pack your things and go to another hotel and just not relying to anyone, just on us. And that's something, extremely, extremely priceless, to be honest. And I
And
understand,
that's what we
you know.
do. And I think, you know, and that's through no fault of my ex-husband or anyone who's ever been married before, right? This, unfortunately, is what happens in first marriages. You're on this hamster wheel that you can't possibly get off because you've got years of young children and going through that sort of phase.
I look at my kids, my friends that are actually gone through this normal route in life, which is, like finding your girl that will be your wife, starting to thinking about kids, having kids, and they are literally, I mean, they're enjoying life, but they're suffering because it's very, very, tired, and it takes a lot,
Well, I think your boyfriends that doubted you have all changed their mind.
Now they
want to
be like, hey, please teach me how to get older women, because actually I always been attracted to older women. I always,
They thought he was crazy
was
back
into
in the
it.
day.
Yeah, I used to go to Marbella with Edu, my friend. Somehow I always ended up talking with, like, just women older than me, not older women, but like, it's just, and everybody thought I was crazy. But then, I mean, honestly, it is amazing. You really get to learn from someone who has more experience in life than you. And
I think now they see his life and see how happy he is. And again, it's not the lifestyle, because it's not like no older woman just hands out a credit card and says, off you go, darling. Pop off.
100%.
He works harder than anyone I know. But what I think by me being older and settled is that I've given him wings, right? I've given him the wings to be able to live his dreams.
But actually, I think more important than wins, I think you gave me
Stability.
security
Yeah.
and confidence. And confidence is the most difficult thing to find and
He
to
was
get
really
for a
shy.
man. I think
Really.
confidence is the most difficult thing to find for a man, because
And who you are really were.
you need to discover yourself, and that takes a while. And I think you facilitate that in a way, that was so much faster than a normal way.
Because, when we first started dating as well, like, obviously we would go on dates to like cinemas or to, not McDonald's, but cheap restaurants.
Anything.
Right?
It was anything. That's the beauty about us. When you find that truly connection, anything is fun. It doesn't matter what it is. I always take like, oh my God, let's just go to, I don't know, just go to do whatever, because it's just going to be fun, because we're going to laugh. We're going to enjoy, even if it's like the most stupid thing. So when you truly find that connection, life is amazing.
I remember one of my girlfriends, I'll never forget it. She goes, oh, this guy's just asked me out, but he said he wants to take me to this restaurant. And it's like not enough kind of thing. And I went, my God, if I really like a guy, I'll go to a drive-through.
Literally.
I'll go to a fucking drive-through. I don't give a shit where he takes me. It's
about
irrelevant.
It's about spending time with a person
together.
and get to know that person. It
Like
doesn't matter.
You take a blanket to the park. What are you
Literally.
talking about? Who cares what the
Exactly.
first date is? And that is what's wrong with the girls, because you're getting the wrong guy, and then that guy thinks he has to impress you the whole time, and that guy feels the pressure, and then you never get to see the real him because he won't let the guard down, and you never know who
Exactly.
he really is, and then he can't do it anymore.
That's the problem with the guy.
Falls up.
Insecurities start from there.
Yeah.
Like you
From
set at
that
the
moment.
barrier, and the bar is so high that he cannot, just step down from there. So then you really don't get to know his personality, and that's the big problem. Can you please touch my bag, honey? It was so good. Oh, thank you. I love it.
And it's so important, ladies, to get to know someone. Okay, fancy restaurants are amazing, but so is going for a pizza
Yeah.
somewhere, and just walking around in trainers and laughing and going out of the way places.
And let me tell you, you really get to know someone when you step out of the way and do something that is not your ideal scenario, because you really connect with that person. So,
funnily enough, I was kind of forced into that because I didn't want, obviously, friends of mine to see me with him because I wasn't sure, right? So I had to go to all the out of the way places anyway that I knew they wouldn't be.
Literally,
So
we had so much fun, to be
we had
honest.
so much fun. So I feel like that gave me such an insight into his personality. And I remember him saying to me, God, I've never been so free with anyone, because he was living in Newport Beach, and he was an ex-soccer player, and he felt like he had to live up to what those standards were.
I feel like I was trapped into showing the world this image, which was not really who I was.
Oh my
And I
God, it was
think
awful. I made
it-
him delete his entire Instagram account.
literally, it came from, from soccer, from, like building up your personality into the public eye in a way, and all these people kind of like just looking up to you, all the soccer fans. And then all of a sudden, you are kind of like a bit lost in life. So then, I wanted to just, it was the first time I think I wanted to be real and be truly myself with someone. And I showed that side to Caroline.
And I think the amazing thing is, because I didn't really think it was going to work, obviously, I didn't really give a shit what he had. I just really enjoyed my time with him. So I wasn't looking further than tomorrow. And
We
I
were
don't
laughing
think-
all the time.
Yeah. And so we just really enjoyed it. We became friends.
We did
really
so
good
many.
friends.
We did so many dates in and out. It was so good. We used to drive there, just get the burger, sit down, and just talk. It was amazing.
Yeah. And no one was around. We didn't need all the bullshit. And that, my friends, is what a relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Ben and Elle have, which we were saying last night.
Oh my God, I love the energy.
The
like
energy is
it's
amazing
amazing
together.
And
you know.
actually, from someone who has that energy, you really click
Recognize it in
and
other people.
recognize it in other people. When you look at someone and you feel that, Caroline and me, we look at each other, I'm like, oh my God.
They come from an extremely privileged background, could be complete assholes, and honestly are the most giving, sharing, beautiful, like
The nicest
humble
people.
couple, because
we love
they love what they have. They appreciate every fucking day what they have, just as we do.
And actually, there's something truly beautiful about that, because a lot of people, they have this amazing life, but they completely forget about, how, where they are in life. Like,
Yeah.
they just take for granted every
Everything.
fucking moment.
I've helped, I see it, the difference with the people that I've helped here to the people in Dubai. It's insane. The people in Dubai just expect me to help for the rest of their lives because that's what I should do, but not further my own career. But, never say thank you, never, and just take. And, this year is a big year for me, and I've changed all of that. I've cut out all of those people, whether they benefited me in any way or not. I've learned to do it on my own.
Let me
But
tell
everyone
you.
can go fuck themselves. I'm starting again.
Exactly. Let me tell you, look behind this one, because it's about to explode.
Watch this space, people.
Dun,
It's
dun,
a whole
dun,
new me.
dun.
But, gratitude, I will never forget the people that have helped me, and the people, if I've helped you along the way, then, absolutely you should always, or anyone's helped you, you should always remember and say, I don't care who you are or where you are. We have friends from all walks in life. We're about to go on the most amazing trips with some of the most amazing people, and we have had the most incredible summer of our lives. And we turn around and still pinch ourselves because we will never, ever take it for granted.
Never. The most powerful tool you can use in your life is gratitude. And it can take you to levels that you will never dream of. And we use that on a daily basis.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Uncut and Uncensored.
With Caroline Stanbury.
And Sergio.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, people.
We love you.